The guy sighs ruefully, walking through the forest. He is very upset and very depressed. He talks about what kind of bad luck. The damn trunk turned out to be bullshit. There was nothing worth anything in it, but nothing at all. Then he notices a silver chest in the bushes. He thinks that the silver chest is a freebie. There will surely be something valuable and important there. He receives a notification that there is no key to the chest. It also says that to open a silver chest, you need a silver key, which can be purchased for 1,000 aggression points. The system asks him if he wants to make a purchase. He thinks about the fact that he still needs a key and 1,000 points of aggression. Isn't it too expensive, since the treasure in the chest can cost much less than 1,000 points of aggression? He begins to look around with caution, thinking that given past games, the key may fall out when killing monsters guarding treasures. As a prize for defeating a strong opponent, the leader of the level 3 beast scrolls appears from the bushes. The guy with a smile rejoices that in front of him is just a rabbit. Besides 3 levels, it's even too easy. He smiles and thinks that he can easily cope with it, even without putting much effort. The guy naively believes that if he quickly finds the beast scrolls and finishes them off, then everything in the chest will be his. All the riches and treasures will go to him alone personally. He draws his sword, and looking at the tail of the animal king, he thinks that the rabbit will die. He shouts about it in order to intimidate his opponent in addition to attacking. The leader of the beast scrolls turns his head, his eyes burning red. He is angry because of the unexpected attack on him. He smashes the guy's nose with one blow of a powerful fist. Blood gushes from the wounded nose. The guy covers his nose with his hand in horror and calls his mother. The leader of the beast scrolls becomes human-sized. This is a huge, pumped-up rabbit who clenches his fist in rage. He is clearly unhappy with the attack on himself and is determined. The leader of the animal kings tells the guy, calling him a puppy, that he thinks he can steal the chest. As if it could be that simple. He stammers no, raising his hands in fright, making it clear that he did not want to anger anyone at all. The animal king strikes the guy blow after blow in the face. The guy's head is swinging from side to side. He can't do anything against his opponent. The guy, receiving blows, thinks that no, level 3 can't have such strength, it's impossible. A 3rd level creature could not repel his attack and beat him so that he could not oppose anything. The guy stands with a broken nose and bruised face and thinks about what he should do now, call for help. But he doesn't even have anyone to call and no one to turn to. The rabbit puts his paw on the chest and tells the guy to open it, and he will think about whether to let him go. The guy, out of desperation, realizing that there is nothing left for him anymore, opens the chest with tears in his eyes, saying that it's fine. He will fulfill the order. He receives a notification from the system that the key to the chest has been purchased. For the purchase of a key, 1,000 points are deducted from it. In the chest there is a bomb with a lit fuse, which is about to burn out. A monstrous explosion is heard. The forest around and the guy are captured by the explosion. Another player receives a notification with congratulations that the task to build a building has been completed. For the successful construction of the building, the player earned 500 points of aggression. This is a beautiful house with flowers on the roof, small and cute windows. The walls of the house are painted in pleasant bed tones. A girl with short dark hair enthusiastically presses her hands to herself, saying that this is her dream home. Her gaze burns with admiration for the new building. She is delighted. Also, a notification comes from the system congratulating the player on the construction of the tower. For the construction of this structure, they earned 1,000 points of aggression. Also, a notification comes from the system with congratulations on the construction of the fortress wall. The height of the wall is 10 meters. 500 aggression points were earned for the construction of such a structure. The girl jumps admiringly near the house. She can't get enough of such a building in any way, expressing her delight and admiration in this way. There is a guy sitting on the cross wall who is completing it using construction tools and materials. Then the construction guy notices how another guy player is running towards them as fast as he can. The builder asks the other guy about what happened to him, as he sees that the player is rushing towards them with all his legs. He's obviously scared and excited about something. The player gasps and says that everything is gone, here. He is so out of breath to run that he can't finish the sentence right away. The builder guy asks the player what his words mean here. The guy with tears in his eyes shouts that there is a dragon. A dragon. He shouts the last word very loudly. He continues, shouting that they all need to run away as soon as possible. The builder asks about where the dragon is, and he thinks that this idiot is stupefied with fear. He needs to finish joking jokes. There's only a beginner village here. The guy shouts that it's true, pointing to the forest behind. There in the forest, an evil dragon killed Gary. It was only thanks to the acceleration potion that he escaped. The builder tells him that if the dragon really existed, then as soon as the protection of the newcomers was removed, they would be finished. They will build another tower and a fortress wall using wood and stones from that house. With their help, they will repel the dragon. A girl with tears in her eyes shouts that for what reason? This is her house. She does not want it to be destroyed and materials spent on building a wall. In the cave, the dragon is sleeping, and Selena, Luther, and Evelyn are sitting on a rock. They are upset and thoughtful about something. When Su Nian wakes up, she asks about what's wrong with them. The girls are silent. Anna is responsible for them. She tells Su Nian with a smile that Selena is sulking because of a failure in magic, and Evelyn because she wants to kill someone. Su Nian asks again in shock about killing, since he does not understand such desires and what they are caused by. He thinks that this was probably said in jest, since this is the most logical explanation he can think of for himself. In fact, Anna was badly influenced, because she finds it all very funny and funny. He is informed that his relative killed the player. He gets 10 points. A relative is one of the creatures subordinate to him. Su Nian looks at how a chest appears in the cave, which was also received as part of the reward for killing the player. And Polycleus tells him with a smile that they have brought all the chests. These are the chests that appeared for the players, and were stolen by the creatures subordinate to Su Nian after killing the players. After people opened them, there was so much in them. In front of him are 3 chests of different colors. Su Nian opens each of them. In one of them there is a roasted ham of mountain sheep with a golden crust. When opening another chest, there was a book with water spells in it. An ice spike is found in the 3rd chest. The purple chest attracts the attention of Su Nian as its contents are the most valuable for him. He takes what is in the chest and looks at the drawing of the flamethrower tower in shock. This is a canvas on which a drawing of the tower is depicted. The system informs Su Nian that his current score is 3862, Anna's liking level is 220 points, Selena's liking level for him is 30 points, Evelyn's liking level is minus 40 points. The system informs Su Nian that he has not met enough conditions, so he cannot use the drawing. He thinks about whether this is serious, what conditions there may be, and why he can't use the drawing. He thinks that players can probably use it, or there are other conditions under which the use of the drawing becomes possible. Selena is shocked to notice a book with water spells. Her eyes widen with shock and delight. She gently takes it in her hand, calls Su Nian and asks to give her this book. She smiles at the dragon, reinforcing her request so as to achieve the result she needs. Su Nian agrees to give her the book. Selena asks Su Nian about his gone. Because I am amazed that he agreed to give the book so quickly. Selena does not wait for an answer and taking the book, leaves, finally saying that okay, she will go read. Su Nian is confused and amazed by this response. He thinks about the race, blushing and embarrassed by his thoughts. Su Nian starts to get angry, thinking that you don't have to answer anything. You have to endure this rare character. Since Selena's words hurt him, but he doesn't want to start a quarrel with her and lose her sympathy points. Then an idea dawns on him. Selena smiles and winks at him, as she is very grateful for the borrowed book. Her sympathy increases by 20 points. Su Nian is flying towards the only way to the dragon's lair. It is already evening and the sun is setting, illuminating the surrounding landscape with the last rays. Su Nian lands on a rock. In his hands he has a drawing of a flamethrower tower. The system informs him that the analysis of the openness of the terrain is completed. The analysis of the drawing of the flamethrower tower is completed. The quality of the drawing is purple, so it can be used 5 times. He needs to determine the construction site of the tower. Su Nian is amazed that the blueprint can only be used outdoors, realizing the reason why he couldn't use it in the cave. A building block appears in front of him, as in the game, glowing blue, which he must place at will. He just had to find a suitable place for the tower. He places it on a rock so that there is a better view, the ability to hit targets and defend. The system informs him that for the construction of a flamethrower tower it is necessary 10 pieces of stone, 2 pieces of wood, 20 workers, 5 kilograms of food. The entire time to build the tower will take 12 hours. The foundation of the tower appears on the rock. The system tells him the possible races of workers that can be used in the construction of the tower. In the case of attracting people, after the completion of the construction of the tower, its efficiency will increase by 20%. If Soglavtsi are involved in the construction, then at the end of construction, the tower's defense capability will increase by 20%. If goblins are used in the construction of the tower, then the mutation rate increases by 20% at the end. If dwarves are involved in the construction, then all the characteristics of the building are increased by 20% after the work is completed. but the system informs the owner that he must supply the workers with everything necessary during construction. After the workers arrive at the site, construction will begin automatically. After the construction work is completed, the workers will go back with erased memories and will not remember anything about the construction of the tower. Su Nian carefully studies these messages, trying to understand how and who is better to attract, as well as what it means that he himself should supply workers. While he is thinking, night is falling on the neighborhood. The moon and the moon are shining brightly in the sky. Su Nian continues to ponder what it means that he himself should supply the workers. While he is thinking, Polycleus climbs up the cliff. He climbs onto the parapet to the dragon, thinking that he and Polycleus swore to follow his master with his life. So he follows him wherever he is, spending his last strength on these. Polycleus suffocates, but still strives for his master. Polycleus is sweating all over, tired, and shouts to the owner that he climbed in. He is very happy and delighted with this fact. Su Nian tells Polycleus to bring him 20 strong dog heads who will help him build a flamethrower tower. He answers his master that he listens to him. He is ready to execute the order, but does not count his strength. Polycleus immediately after that falls to the ground from fatigue, losing consciousness. Su Nian, seeing that his servant fell to the ground without strength, says that his order can be carried out tomorrow, as he understands that Polycleus is very tired and is not ready to run and collect workers now. Su Nian looks at the stars and the moon in the sky, thinking that Anna must be resting now. Thoughts about a girl make him smile, make him blush and be embarrassed. At this time, Anna and Selena are sleeping in a cave, covered with a blanket. They sleep soundly right on the ground and dreaming. Selena laughs in her sleep and says that she is an honorary magician. These thoughts make her smile happily. Evelyn tells someone in a dream that she will cut him up for the pigs to eat. She also really likes this dream. She smiles in her sleep. But then Su Nian hears someone shouting, "Dad, Mom, no." Su Nian realizes that it is Anna who is shouting, as the other girls are sleeping peacefully. He turns his head to the source of the sound, trying to figure out where Anna is sleeping. She shivers in her sleep and repeats the words demon out. Su Nian wonders why she says demon, what it might mean. He studied this question, and if everything is correct in the Encyclopedia of Monsters, then 1500 years ago the demons were already destroyed. He doesn't understand how demons can exist now, because Anna is clearly not 1500 years old. The system determined her age. Anna opens her eyes. They burn with a red light and her pupils are like a snake's. Her eyes are like the eyes of an animal. The red fire from them burns with a demonic color. There's a fire in the village. The flame is very strong. Because of it you can't even see the sky. Trees, buildings, flags and trees from the forest behind the houses are burning. Everything is blazing and colored with orange light. Demons with horns and red eyes kill people. One of the demons hits a man in the head with a paw. Blood spurts out of him. The demon next to him smiles and prepares to grab the man with his paws. Another demon also hits a woman in the head. A pillar of blood hits up. Little Anna stands on the threshold of her house and looks at it, thinking that it was attacked by demons. She's very scared. She cries and tries to call Mom and Dad, but someone shuts her mouth and tells her to be silent. There are tears in her eyes. The girl who covered her mouth bends down to her ear and says that she is with her. A little later, she opens the closet doors, puts Anna in there and tells her to hide here and never come out. She doesn't have time to finish the last word when her stomach is pierced. She only manages to say the word D. Blood is spurting out of it, from a wound in the stomach and from the mouth. Her eyes widen in horror. Anna opens her mouth in shock and fright. Tears are spurting from her eyes. She stammers for her sister. The demon shouts boo to her. His eyes are burning red. His mouth opens in a smile, exposing sharp teeth. He laughs at her in her fear. Anna is sitting in the closet, frightened, pressing her hands to her body. Her eyes are wide open in shock. Tears are pouring out of them. She's trying to tell the demon not to come near her. In front of the entrance to the closet, the body of her dead sister lies motionless. Her heart starts beating fast. Red energy begins to swirl around him, the streams of which go straight to her heart. Her eyes light up red, the pupils become snake-like. Red energy continues to swirl around her. She holds out her hand, tears glisten in his eyes, but she clenches her teeth in determination, preparing to fight to the last. Obeying her movements, red energy rushes towards the demon. Su Nian realizes that Anna is having a nightmare, as her behavior does not look like she is having a normal dream. He is sitting next to the sleeping Anna. Su Nian clutches Anna's body with her paws. Her health icon is green, but there is very little of it. Su Nian thinks that he has been giving her herbal tinctures and potions for several days and finally her strip of life has turned green. He is studying information about Anna's health. The system informs him that Anna is in serious pain and she has 63 days left to live. Su Nian is upset and dissatisfied with the fact that no matter what medications he feeds her, he still shows that she will live only 63 days. He thinks irritably that there are no signs of recovery. Su Nian wonders if it's because of her heart failure. Anna abruptly opens her burning snake eyes. She gets up and Su Nian shouts to her that she is awake. He doesn't see what condition she's in. Anna with burning eyes attacks the dragon with purple energy. Su Nian is shocked by this. He flies into the wall from the attack, which causes stones and dust to fly to the side. He is in a lot of pain. He leaves a dent in the stone wall, so strong was Anna's attack. This noise wakes up Selena and Evelyn, who at first cannot understand what is happening. Selena gets up and shouts that Su Nian saw what time it was, why he was making so much noise. She asks about what he is doing here and has something in mind, since he is standing close above the girls and obviously watched them sleep. Evelyn sleepily asks what the sounds are, as she still can't figure out what's going on and why she woke up. Su Nian says with tears in her eyes that Anna is missing. A little later, he flies over the night forest in search of Anna. On his back are Selena and Evelyn, who are exploring the area in search of Anna, helping Su Nian find the girl. Then one of them notices something. Selena says that Anna ran away deep into the swamps. They see Anna beating up a huge crocodile. There is a full red stripe above her. That is, her health is full, but it is red. The dragon is glad that he found Anna. He smiles, realizing that everything is fine with the girl. Su Nian thinks that it is amazing that her stripe is full, although red. He has not heard of such a thing and does not know what it means. Su Nian is amazed at how Anna fights with the enemy. Before that, she did not show the skills of war and fighters. And Anna's opponent is not just some kind of animal, but this is the Swamp Lord. Anna fights with a crocodile named Stone Helmet. He's level 15. The crocodile is a creature of the second stage, and it seems that Anna easily beats the crocodile with a stone helmet, throwing it from side to side. Anna turns to Su Nian, realizing that he has come, and turns to Mr. Dragon. Her eyes gradually fade and she falls unconscious. Her strength was exhausted. Su Nian screams damn as Anna fainted during the battle, and she was in the air at that moment as she was fighting on the fly. The crocodile opens its mouth to meet her, preparing to swallow Anna flying down. Su Nian sets the crocodile on fire with his fiery breath, preventing him from devouring the girl. And Selena and Evelyn prepare to catch Anna sitting on his back. They put their hands up to grab the girl flying down. The crocodile screams in pain as it is consumed by the flames. A little later, Su Nian lands on the shore near the swamp. Selena and Evelyn are sitting next to Anna lying on the ground, who has lost consciousness. Here the dragon is bitten on the wing by a crocodile that got out of the swamp. Su Nian didn't expect such an attack, and screams your mother. He realizes that this piece of shit ambushed him. He jumped on him from the water abruptly, taking advantage of the fact that Su Nian had his back to him and did not see the attacker. The crocodile drags the dragon under the water, holding the wing with its mouth. Su Nian's claw only slightly scratches the crocodile. The thought of no slips through his mind. The crocodile has a thick skin. He can't pierce it hard enough with his claws to cause the monster great harm. At the same time, Su Nian understands that in the swamp, dragon breath will definitely not be used to its full potential, since water neutralizes its effect. The claws of Su Nian barely touch the enemy without causing him significant harm. Su Nian shouts to the system that he is changing, realizing that this is his only chance. Su Nian asks to change his modifications to a high level of scale strength, as well as a high level of reinforced claws and fangs. He also asks the system for an underwater breathing bag. Su Nian shouts to the system to do it as quickly as possible, since he will not be able to fight underwater for a long time. The system informs him that these modifications are worth 10,000 points. The system knows that he doesn't have enough points, so it asks Su Nian if he wants to take out a loan. Su Nian, without hesitation, shouts yes, because he does not have time to talk. The system informs him that it draws his attention that the loan percentage is 50%. That is, he will have to return more points than he will borrow. The system asks if Su Nian wants to activate the modifications. Su Nian shouts that stop talking bullshit. Let the system activate the modifications, as he is about to choke and lose. The system informs him that it draws his attention that acute pain may occur during the activation of modifications. The dragon's eye turns red and abruptly opens. Su Nian goes under the water, thinking that he is in pain, as the changes begin to take effect, changing his body and causing him pain. The system informs Su Nian Water that his current score is -93 points, Anna's liking level is 220 points, Selena's liking level for him is 50 points, Evelyn's liking level is -40 points. Selena bends down to the water, calling Su Nian Water and shouting to Tom if he is still alive. She can't see anything because of the muddy water, but she doesn't find any signs that Su Nian Water is alive there. She happily thinks that this means that she cannot return the book with water spells if the dragon does not return in the end. Here, Su Nian Water flies out of the swamp, and with one blow of his paw, he punches through the crocodile, while spewing flames into it. His modified claws and breath did their job, allowing him to easily win. Selena and Evelyn are shocked to watch the battle from the shore, open-mouthed and surprised at how much Su Nian Water strong. The dragon throws the crocodile back into the swamp, as he had previously fought with it in the air. Then Su Nian Water throws the monster aside with one powerful blow of his tail. He flies away, unable to cope with such an attack. Su Nian Water takes the crocodile by the mouth. He shouts to the beast to die, fascinated by the battle and anticipating victory. Su Nian Water pours flame directly into the crocodile's mouth, which he holds with his paws, not allowing it to close. Then, Su Nian Water throws the crocodile's prostrate body onto the shore. He died and shows no signs of life. At the same time, because of the dragon flame, he was fried. Selena can smell the burning corpse of a crocodile, and she likes it. She sips her nose with a smile because she is hungry. Selena and Evelyn tear the meat from the crocodile and begin to eat it, smacking their lips. They eat it with their bare hands, finding it very tasty. Evelyn and Selena fall to the ground after eating, holding their bellies. They've eaten too much and now they can't even get up. Su Nian Water also ate a crocodile with them and ate too much. After that, he goes to sleep next to them. The system informs him that the owner killed the crocodile stone helmet. For defeating the monster, Su Nian Water received 60 system points. Also, in addition to the points, he received 1 magic core. At the same time, he is also given a reward for absorbing the crocodile stone helmet. After absorbing the monster's body, Su Nian Water's health recovery rate is increased. An elementary core of the lowest level appears in front of him. Su Nian Water looks at him admiringly. He picks it up, happily shouting the magic core. This evil will grab the core and then Anna will return. He notices that Anna's health bar has become the same as in the beginning. She is red and there is very little of her. That is, the girl's health has weakened, and very sharply. The system informs him that Anna is in serious pain. She is very weak. The system also reports that Anna has 24 hours left to live. Su Nian Water asks the system if she knows what kind of illness Anna has. The system tells him that it doesn't know. She does not have the function of examining a sick person instead of a person, since she is not a cleric and can only assess the health of the character. Su Nian Water is crushed, tears appear in his eyes, as he does not know what Anna is sick with and how to cure it. He remembers what Anna was like with red burning eyes and surrounded by the same energy. Su Nian Water is sure that this has something to do with her behavior, escaping from the cave and attacking the crocodile. He understands that he needs to find out exactly what kind of illness Anna has and why she went berserk, since there is only one reason for this. Su Nian Water wonders where else Anna and this destructive power came from. Here the dragon is illuminated by the idea of a cleric, since the healer must tell exactly what is with the girl. He asks Selena if she knows there is a strong cleric here somewhere. She replies that she has no idea, since when she was with the mercenaries, they all bought potions without resorting to the services of clerics. Here one of them says that he knows. Evelyn said that. She says she knows a cleric who lives in the kingdom of Henrius. But after thinking a little and assessing all the chances, Evelyn continues, saying that only Su Nian Water is likely to be killed if he approaches the city walls in this form. After all, there are bounty hunters all over the city, and neither the residents of the city nor the guards will be very happy with the dragon. Su Nian Water looks at his paws, thinking that this is true, since they will probably start shooting at him even when approaching the city walls. He thinks about the fact that he still has 6 bottles of the transformation potion left, which can help him get into the city unnoticed. He understands that this amount of potion can be enough for half a day. If Su Nian Water manages to visit the cleric with Anna during this time, then there should be no problems. Evelyn looks at the dragon, angry and thinking that it really doesn't matter if a man or a monster is selfish, because the idea to go to the city belonged to her, but she is ignored. She closes her eyes, from which tears of resentment are splashing. She thinks that as soon as a problem arises, she will be abandoned without hesitation. Su Nian Water calls her, asking what she is frozen for. Let Evelyn jump in and think about his words in shock, since she did not expect him to take her with him. She is very touched by such an act. The system informs Su Nian Water that Evelyn's liking for him has increased by 40 points. Her current level is 0 points. The system congratulates the host, saying that Evelyn's sympathy has reached the first level. For this, Su Nian Water received 300 points. The dragon flies over the forest towards the town where the cleric lives. Evelyn and Selena are sitting on his back. Su Nian Water thinks that Evelyn's liking has increased. He thinks it's because she saw him so brave in the middle of a battle, so she took a liking to him and respected him. But the dragon is angry because he got only 300 points. He does not understand why there is so little if sympathy has ceased to be negative. Su Nian Water tells the system that they agreed on the skills. Did they really take everything away? The system responds to him that the sympathy of a special level character must reach the second level in order to gain new skills. The system deducts 350 credit points from him. After deducting the points, the system informs Su Nian Water that he has 9,000 points left to return. Su Nian Water shouts 9,000 points in shock, as he is horrified that he owes so many points. Selena then shouts in shock about what is wrong with him, not understanding why he sharply shouted these words. Su Nian Water replies to her that it's okay, he's fine, and Su Nian Water thinks to himself that this is all strange. He sadly understands that in this world it is still necessary to repay the loan, given that he is not even in the real world. Su Nian Water flies up to the city walls of Henrius in the night. The city is sleeping. He lands a little further away so as not to attract attention to himself. He lands holding Anna in his arms. She is unconscious and does not react to their landing in any way. The system informs Su Nian Water that his current score is minus 9,000 points. Anna's liking level is 220 points. Selena's liking level for him is 50 points. Evelyn's liking level is 0 points. In the morning, a procession goes through the streets within the walls of the royal city. A man in shining armor riding a horse rides past the crowd joyfully greeting him. Behind him are his warriors, also dressed in armor. People raise their hands, rejoice. They greet not so much the warriors as the knight with long blonde hair who leads the entire procession. Shouts can be heard from the crowd cheering the valiant Knight Blade. Someone says that he single-handedly dealt with the Whirlwind Gang and beheaded their leader. Knight Blade happily waves back to the crowd. He is pleased with such attention to his person. Also, someone from the crowd says that Knight Blade, along with the great magician Mason, staged a campaign against an evil dragon. Among the people in the crowd is Su Nian Water in human form with an unconscious Anna in his arms. He is not happy because he listens to people's conversations. He thinks angrily that Knight Blade has dealt with the Whirlwind Gang, and it's okay that he killed them, and his act was simply appropriated. Su Nian Water angrily thinks that Knight Blade is a good fellow, stole someone else's merits, and even managed to steal the dragon's skull. Su Nian Water looks with hatred at the joyful Knight Blade surrounded by an enthusiastic crowd, and says that if he wasn't busy, he would have smashed his head. But he should think about Anna, who needs help. A little later he comes to a small modest house standing alone on the outskirts. Su Nian Water remembers what Evelyn said to him. According to her, the cleric's name is Rob. His hut is located in the western part of the city. There is a flowering tree on the door. The house he found fits all the signs. Evelyn herself did not go to town with them. Su Nian Water knocks hard on the door, asking if cleric Rob is here. But there is no reaction to his knock and words. Su Nian Water realizes that he has not been opened yet. He thinks that maybe the old man didn't hear. Anna never regains consciousness in his arms, still remaining unconscious. Su Nian Water kicks the door hard. The door swings open, and Su Nian Water finds himself on the threshold with Anna sitting in his arms. From their arrival, the nurse girl falls to the floor in shock, as she did not expect such a visit to the house. This is Varvara, a student of the doctor, who covers her mouth with her hand in shock at the sight of visitors. Su Nian Water apologizes with a smile, saying that they are looking for cleric Rob. Varvara gets to her feet and replies that it's okay. Let him just pay 50 silver coins for the broken door. Su Nian Water is amazed by this answer, as here he has to pay something. Varvara introduces herself to him, also asks for forgiveness and asks why they need a cleric. Su Nian Water replies that for treatment. Varvara tells him that unfortunately, due to the fact that he could not cure the impotence of the prince, he went wandering. Su Nian Water is shocked. He asks her if she knows where he went, or at least when he comes back. Varvara replies that it is not yet known. Then he pays attention to Anna and joyfully shouts wow. The sight of the girl amazes and delights her. This is a low elf. She touches her ears and tail, talking about how cute Anna is. Here Varvara bends down to Anna's face and says that she is ill and will die soon. Su Nian Water asks in shock that Varvara is also a cleric. She replies with a smile that she is just studying, but but she can also examine her. Su Nian asks her if she can identify Anna's illness. He tells me that last night Anna suddenly went berserk and then lost consciousness. Varvara tells him to put the girl on the table first. Su Nian puts Anna on the table. Varvara begins to examine her. She bends down, listens to her heart. Su Nian observes her actions, thinking that all clerics do this inspection, because he finds her actions very strange. Su Nian, seeing such an examination, believes that now he understands why the prince's illness has not been cured. Suddenly Varvara screams about what she has found. She tells Su Nian that there is a curse on Anna. The seat of the curse is in the heart, and all other diseases occur because of it. Su Nian asks again about the curse, as he did not understand what exactly it means. Varvara replies that the curse is very powerful. It takes all the powers of the damned. Such a curse drives people crazy. Su Nian screams that because of the curse, Anna may weaken or go crazy. And if Anna goes crazy, she will lose her health. Varvara answers that it is true, everything is very logical. That's how the curse works. Su Nian asks Varvara if she can cure Anna. She asks for forgiveness and says no, spreading her hands in despair. Varvara continues, saying that she can only stabilize her for a while. But Su Nian should know, if Anna has resistance, her body will collapse. Varvara continues her speech about Anna's illness, raising her finger up and saying that there are two ways to remove the curse. The first way is to kill the one who cast the curse. The second way is to remove the container. That is, in the case of Anna, it is necessary to change the cursed heart. Varvara comes up to him in a tight and pointing at him with a finger, says with a smile that it is best to change the cursed heart to the heart of a dragon. She understands that he is not who he claims to be. The system informs Su Nian that his current score is minus 9,000 points. Anna's liking level is 220 points. Selena's liking level for him is 50 points. Evelyn's liking level is 0 points. Su Nian, looking at Varvara, thinks that your mother. He understands that she can sniff out everything, since she somehow realized that he was a dragon. Su Nian thinks about the fact that since Varvara has such a good nose, then maybe she is a dog or something. He laughs shyly, asking again about the dragon heart, pretending that he does not understand what it is. Su Nian continues saying that it is very difficult to find and get it. And is there no other equally effective way? Varvara thinks about the words about another way. She says that there is no other way except to dip into the legendary elven spring. This should delay the effect of the curse, but the source dried up a long time ago. She says it's also possible to go north to the Winter Empire. There is a high cleric who has achieved perfection in the art of purification. But the patient doesn't have much time left, so she can't take such a trip. Varvara spreads her arms to the sides, making it clear that this is the end of her knowledge, and Su Nian looks at her in frustration. But then an idea dawns on Varvara. She remembers about the witches and says that you can find them. They always have a bunch of weird treatments, only they are very difficult to find. She only knows that they were seen in Santalista. Su Nian asks again about St. Aulist witches. He asks Varvara if she is sure that witches can really help. He asks her to magically treat Anna better, and then they will discuss what to do next. Varvara asks him to wait. She starts flipping through the book. Su Nian asks her what she is looking at there. This book is a magical treatment for dummies. This scares him, because he understands that the girl is not an experienced healer. Varvara puts her hand on Su Nian's shoulder and tells him to relax. The first time is always nervous. He answers her in a frightened way that why does he have the feeling that she is talking to herself, that this is her first treatment. Varvara points her hand at Anna, and she is surrounded by green energy that heals her. Anna opens her eyes after the magic ends. Su Nian happily shouts to her that she has woken up, which makes him very happy. Anna asks Mr. Dragon about where they are, as she does not understand where they ended up. He answers her that they are in the royal city. She suddenly fainted and he brought her to the cleric. Varvara asks about the dragon, since that's how Anna addressed him. Laughing, she covers her mouth with her hand, saying that of course she was not mistaken. Su Nian is really a dragon. She continues by saying this elf. Varvara asks him that he is by chance not the same dragon that was recently raided. He answers her in a calm voice, and so what, lower, that the girl has already guessed everything herself. Varvara appears in the form of an angel with wings and a halo, and spreading her hands tells Su Nian that he can be calm. She will not give them up. After all, she is a cleric. She promised to treat all those in need. She takes one of the medical instruments and says that she is now studying the treatment of the body. Varvara says that even without magic, you can successfully transplant a heart. Su Nian can get a 20% discount. He definitely did not think about the operation to transplant his heart to Anna. Su Nian thinks that Varvara is very similar to a modern surgeon. Aloud, he says thank you to Varvara, but it's better for her to get ready first, and he and the patient will prepare for a heart transplant. Anna asks again about the transplant, not understanding what it means. She tries to ask about the transplant, but Su Nian puts her hand over her mouth. She tells her to keep quiet and leave. Varvara, at this time, humming a cheerful tune, is preparing for surgery, laying out medical instruments on the table. Su Nian thinks that Varvara even flipped through the treatment for dummies. They didn't think of anything. He is not going to take part in her operation. Outside the walls of the city, Su Nian asks Anna how she feels. Anna asks Mr. Dragon if her illness is curable. He tells her that it's just a simple curse. He swears by his dragon name to her, she will definitely recover. Anna thinks with gratitude that Mr. Dragon even gave her an oath. She thanks Su Nian. The system tells him that Anna's liking has increased by 50 points, and her current level is 250. Anna says that he gave her his word, but he should not sacrifice his health by saving her. Su Nian tells Anna to relax, he will find a way to remove the curse. The system informs him that a rare character has been detected. He calls him, whether he wants to answer him. This is a blonde elf. Su Nian is amazed that a rare NPC is calling him. The system informs Su Nian that his current score is -9,000. Anna's liking level is 250 points. Selena's liking level for him is 50. Evelyn's liking level is 0. In the sanctuary of St. Aulist, an elf with a staff stands in front of a stone statue of a woman. She turns to the great goddess to hear her prayers. Yellow energy flows around the girl. The girl asks the goddess to show her a miracle. She presses her hand to her chest and says in frustration that she has failed again. Su Nian looks at the notification panel and says there is no response. He thinks that although he really wants to go see, but there are more important things to do. Dog heads walk behind the dragon's lair at the construction site of the fire tower. One of them notices the return of the owner and tells him that he has returned. The tower is built. Su Nian replies to them that they are fast. They, the Soglavits, definitely have a talent for construction. He tells them with a smile that with this Makar, they will quickly build the remaining 4 towers. The system sends him a notification that the building is a level 1 fire tower. Its protection is 10,000, range is 30 kilometers. Rate of fire. Homing, 1 arrow divided by 10 seconds. Manual aiming, 1 arrow divided by 1 second. This is the fastest option. The speed depends on the number of soldiers. Technique, rain of fire arrows, range 5 by 5. Su Nian studies these characteristics and says that 1 arrow in 10 seconds is too slow. He needs to first check what power the tower has. He orders Ipolycleus to aim at the rock and points at it with his hand. He accepts the order with a smile. He aims the target at the rock. Su Nian orders fire. A projectile flies out of the tower. There is an explosion. Fragments of stones fly in different directions. There is a huge hole in the rock, from which smoke is coming in different directions. Su Nian opens her mouth in shock and screams about what it was like. And this little thing is a fiery erased. This is definitely not a simplified version of the rocket. He thinks that it is no wonder that the tower is so slow, such a huge crete. He will reflect on the fact that if the builders of the towers are different, then the effects should be different. He doesn't know if this is true for soldiers. Su Nian asks Ipolycleus to bring him 20 animal skins. He wants to conduct an experiment. He readily accepts the master's order. Su Nian, with a smile, calling the animal king Bugs Bunny, asks him to test the tower with other animal kings. They readily follow to the flamethrower tower. The system informs him that there are 20 soldiers in the tower. Since the soldiers are non-standard, there will be changes in the flamethrower tower whether Su Nian wants to continue. He says to continue, happily thinking that he really guessed right. Su Nian looks at the attack of the beast scrolls from the tower and thinks about what it means. Depending on the abilities of relatives, there will be different changes. He thinks with a smile that with these towers, the defense of the cave will not be a problem. It remains to increase its speed and range. He asks the system about what is needed to raise the level of the tower. The system responds that you need 10 magic cores of fire monsters 3 stages. Su Nian says that last time he killed the crocodile stone helmet in the swamps near the mountains of the Silver Forest to get the core of the lower stage. It looks like it's hard to find so many stage 3 monsters in the Silver Forest. Perhaps there are more of them in the mountains. Su Nian thinks that he should visit the mountains. Then Anna appears behind him and shouts to Mr. Dragon that Selena and Evelyn had a fight. He asks about it again. Evelyn holds Selena, who shouts at her to let her go, please. Then Selena presses Evelyn to the ground and she shouts, "No, that's enough." Evelyn rushes to Su Nian water and calling him Brother Dragon, says that she is in great pain and cries. Selena approaches him from the other side and says that Evelyn started it first. It was all Su Nian water's performances, who laughs and thinks it's cool. Anna sternly shouts to Mr. Dragon that if he does not stop them, they will blow up the lair. He asks in shock what she is talking about. He shouts that he has forgotten that they are both sorceresses. The system informs Su Nian water that his current score is -9,000. Anna's liking level is 250 points. Selena's liking level for him is 50. Evelyn's liking level is 0. Su Nian water comes to the cave where Selena and Evelyn are fighting. They hold each other by the hair and scream. Su Nian water shouts at them to stop fighting and get out. Anna is standing behind him. Su Nian water is angry that his words have been ignored. He shouts at them to stop, turning into a dragon and bursting between the girls, spreading their paws to the sides. Anna tells Mr. Dragon that Selena and Evelyn had a fight over a book of water spells. Selena didn't get the exercise. Evelyn just took a look, then they got into a fight. Su Nian water angrily tells them that it's a shame to fight over such trifles. On his territory, they must obey him. He continues by saying that next time, and then he calmly says that they should fight hand to hand and not use magic. Evelyn and Selena cross their arms in anger and turn their heads to the sides. At night in the forest, Selena, in anger, hits the tree with her fist. She screams about how everything pisses her off. Why can't she do anything? She's not armless. Because of her blows, stones are raining down from the ceiling of the cave on Su Nian water's head. One of them hits him painfully on the head. He screams in pain. Su Nian water appears behind Selena and shouts at her to stop and stop. Selena, crossing her arms over her chest, tells Tom that what is it? Didn't he himself tell them to fight on the street? Su Nian water massages his head and says they have to swear, but it is not necessary to run and beat trees at night. She'll let people sleep. Selena looks angrily at the remains of the tree. Selena is upset, saying that she just feels like some kind of non-entity. Su Nian water tells her that if she can't follow the beaten path, then it's worth finding her own. Selena asks again about finding her own. Su Nian water replies to her that he thinks that since she is so cruel, it's better for her to try her in black magic. Selena says that black magic is not for people, it definitely won't suit her. Su Nian water whispers to her that oh lie. In his opinion, she is also not like other people. Selena, after thinking about it, says that after all, thanks to the dragon for keeping her company. The system reports that Selena's liking has increased by 50. The current level is 100. Somewhere in the forest, the day has come, the sun is shining brightly. 3 beast trolls are grazing in the clearing. 3 girls with wings behind their backs are watching them from the bushes. One of them tells the head that these animal rabbits are so fat. The other supports, saying that exactly 1 bite and the fat will flow. The girl with the ponytail says that the animal king has a gold chain around her neck. She is very beautiful, and she also wants one. The girl with the square answers her that when there were such large animal rabbits in the forest. She asks the question that these rabbits usually eat so well and wear chains. But then she says she doesn't care. In any case, even these strange beast trolls will not be able to defeat the harpies. She turns to the others and says that there are rumors that there is a dragon in this part of the forest, so it's worth being careful. They will attack about 3. The girl immediately says 3. 2. The harpies are preparing to attack. Then, they rush to attack. The girl with the square laughs, shouting to the rabbit to jump into her stomach. The eyes of the beast trolls light up red. They grow in size, they have muscles and claws. The harpies land on the clearing in shock, stopping the attack. The beast crows appear before them in all their glory. The harpy with the square screams for help when the beast king hits her in the face. She screams that they can't stand it and have to leave. Then a blue energy network rushes at them. They are screaming in horror at her. Later, in the dragon's lair, Su Nian water looks at the captured harpies and asks them that they wanted to attack his relatives. The harpy with a square turns to the great dragon, saying that they did not want to offend him. They really want to eat. Behind her, her sisters are sitting and crying. She continues, saying that a few days ago, a flock of parrottons came from somewhere in the forest and took away their cave. They took the mountain sheep and killed their tribesmen. Su Nian water is thinking about the other side. He understands that apparently there is a village of newcomers there too. The harpy begs the great dragon to help them return their home and rescue their tribe. She introduces herself as Hannah, the head of the harpy. Hannah swears to Su Nian water that she brings her tribe under his wing of her own free will, and will donate a whole sheep to him. Hannah falls to her knees in front of the dragon. The system informs Su Nian that his current score is -9,000. Anna's liking level is 250 points. Selena's liking level for him is 100. Evelyn's liking level is 0. Su Nian is confused and tells Hannah that he understands everything, but trying to eat the beast scrolls when they were shitting. Hannah is shocked to ask again about it, since they did not notice what exactly those creatures were doing. Su Nian looks at the leader of the Harpies. The system shows him all the information about her. In front of him is the head of the level 17 Harpies, Hannah, a second stage creature. Her current level of sympathy for Su Nian 30. She is in awe of him. Hannah is strong in flight, jerks from a height, has a sweet voice. Su Nian studies the characteristics of the Harpy and thinks they are not a bad air force. He also thinks that the Harpy's cunning is well suited for scouts that can be used against opponents. And with a sweet voice, they can disorient players. Su Nian brings a claw to her and drips blood on Hannah's head. He says by giving his name that he is responding to her plea. Su Nian declares Hannah and her tribe to be her relatives. She smiles shyly, closing her eyes, rejoicing at this outcome. She presses her hand to her heart and says, "Yes, master." One of her eyes lights up red. Anna is sitting next to Selena. Evelyn is standing next to them. Anna turns to Mr. Dragon, saying that he wants to go to the Silver Forest. They want to go with him. Su Nian shouts to them that he will go there to fight. It's not for them to go on a picnic, they're not going anywhere. Those from his roar close their eyes. Anna says in frustration that she wanted to spend the rest of her time with Mr. Dragon, no matter in battle or somewhere else. Selena raises her hand and shouts that she can also help in the fight. Evelyn supports, saying that she too. Su Nian looks at the readiness of the girls, thinking that Anna has been so clingy lately. She thinks about the fact that her behavior is caused by illness. Su Nian tells the leaders of the dog heads and beast scrolls that while he is away, if anyone enters the forest, they should do everything as usual. They should put traps or something else in the open chests, but not allow players to go deep into the forest. They readily accept the master's order. The dragon flies to the rocks, followed by harpies. Hannah shouts to Su Nian that this is their cave, pointing to the one that can be seen ahead. They are approaching a cave in the rock. Su Nian lands in front of the cave entrance. Anna is seen in Nigo's hands. Hannah tells him that these Paratons are ferocious and treacherous, so he should be more careful when fighting with them. She asks the owner to be careful. He answers her that he understood. He thinks about the fact that he brought Anna in vain, since it can be dangerous here, and she has not recovered yet. He sniffs the air and realizes that the cave stinks of blood. Su Nian tells Anna that it is dangerous to go further and she should wait for him here. He orders Hannah and the other harpy to stay at the cave entrance and protect Anna. They readily accept the order, responding to him there is a master. Su Nian rushes deep into the cave. In the cave he meets 7 Paratons, level 28. Su Nian is amazed. He thinks your mother. It turns out there are so many monsters of the 3rd stage in the Silver Forest. He understands that it is not at all surprising that the tortured harpies escaped from the cave. Su Nian is upset to realize that even though he is stronger, he will not be able to withstand a battle with so many. He decides to leave, thinking that okay, next time he will bring more people. But his movements are touched by a stone, and he jumps around the cave. Paratons wake up. A lot of burning red eyes are rushing at Su Nian from the darkness. Su Nian thinks damn. Paratons, creatures with deer heads and wings, begin to circle over Su Nian. His eyes also light up with red fire, and he realizes that since he couldn't escape, then it's worth starting a fight. The Paratons, roaring, rush at him. Su Nian meets them with a roar. With one blow of his paw, he pierces the neck of one of the Paratons. In others, he releases fire. He attacks another one with a powerful blow of his tail. The system sends a congratulatory notification to the owner and informs him that he has received 23 Stage 3 fire cores. He also received 345 system points. Su Nian happily thinks about fire cores. It looks like these monsters have accumulated cores inside. He exhales steam from his nostrils, thinking that what you want, you will get. Then the stones begin to fall. Su Nian's eyes light up red with anger. He thinks yes, damn, another one. A huge Paraton with burning eyes rushes to attack, releasing its claws. The system informs Su Nian that his current score is -8655. Anna's liking level is 250 points. Selena's liking level for him is 100. Evelyn's liking level is 0. Su Nian realizes that he is facing a mutated Paratonium. He thinks that although it is the same stage, the monster that has been motivated has a bigger body, and the speed and strength are superior to the existing ones. Su Nian says that this Paratonium will be more difficult than the others. The monster rushes at him to attack. The dragon hits him with a pillar of fire. The Peryton rushes into the attack, thrusting forward sharp claws. He aims at Su Nian Water's neck and wounds him with one claw. Su Nian Water understands that his opponent is fast. A drop of sweat rolls down his temple. Peryton rushes into battle again, thrusting his claws forward. Anna, with tears in her eyes, shouts to Mr. Dragon to be careful. The monster bites the dragon's wing, tearing it apart. Su Nian Water growls in pain. He flies off to the side, thinking to himself about what the hell. His wings lost their balance after the attack. Peryton rushes after him, rushing rapidly towards his opponent. Su Nian Water squints his eyes angrily and shouts to his opponent, "Fuck him." Su Nian Water uses the technique of a hare kicking a kite. This is a deadly movement in Wushu, namely a kick with two legs in the stomach. The Perytonium opens its mouth and screams in pain. He raises his head and lets out a roar, from which stones fly to the side. Su Nian Water attacks him with fire. A monstrous explosion thunders. Su Nian Water flies away. Anna, terrified, calls Mr. Dragon and sitting on Hannah's back, fly faster to where her master falls. Hannah shouts to her well. They land at the crash site of Su Nian Water, who lies unconscious with his tongue sticking out and his eyes closed. Anna asks Mr. Dragon why he is fine. She asks about why it's bleeding. Su Nian Water opens one eye slightly, hearing his name. Anna, with tears in her eyes, bends down to him and asks Mr. Dragon not to die. He gets up and starts waving his paws, telling Anna not to cry. He's not dead, she can see that he's okay. Anna cries, saying that he is bleeding. He tells her it's bullshit. He's just hungry. Su Nian Water continues, saying that he will eat and everything will be fine. Anna wipes away her tears, asking if what he says is true. The system sends Su Nian Water a notification with congratulations. He defeated the mutated monster. His reward for completing the quest is 500 points, 1 black core. Su Nian Water carefully examines the resulting black core. He thinks to himself that it is good that there is still a takeover. Not only can he not speed up recovery, but he can increase strength with growth. It goes to the body of the Perytonium to absorb it. The bodies of other elephants are lying in the cave. There is a sound. One of the Perytons raises his head, sniffing. He rushes to attack Anna, who is standing with her back to him and does not notice anything. He grabs her with powerful paws and lifts her into the air. Anna screams in horror. Su Nian Water raises her head, seeing that Anna has been grabbed, and shouts for her. He attacks the Perytonium with fire, releasing it into the air. He unclenches his paw, squeezing Anna. She plummets down, closing her eyes in horror and calling for Lord Dragon. The system informs Su Nian Water that his current score is -8155. Anna's liking level is 250 points. Selena's liking level for him is 100. Evelyn's liking level is 0. Anna falls down rapidly. She falls right into the swamp, on which the face appears. There is a splash. Anna emerges from the water, saying in a startled voice that she is alive. She rakes the water with her hand, rising up and saying that the water is so pleasant. "I wish Mr. Dragon was here." Anna smiles. She sees how energy begins to swirl out of the water in front of her, rising up. Anna asks about who is here and let him come out. A silhouette emerges from the water, which informs that it is so joyful that finally someone has found this place. Anna asks fearfully about who is in front of her. The silhouette turns into a beautiful girl who smiles and says that she is the keeper of the Great Elven Spring. She reports that her powers are great, but it seems that something terrible is limiting them. Anna asks about the fact that her sister is in front of her. Tears are streaming down her cheeks. She screams that you are the sister. She asks if she is alive. The guardian of the Elven Spring hugs Anna by the shoulders and with a smile answers her that she is not her sister. In Anna's memories, she can only assume this appearance. Anna looks at the keeper's hands in fright. The girl continues, telling Anna to forget the suffering. The girl bends down to Anna and kisses her on the lips. Anna opens her eyes wide in amazement. She is surrounded by magic-soaked water that flows around her. Anna sinks to the bottom. She sits in the depths, looking around and admiring the fact that there are so many treasures at the bottom. Su Nian Water is flying in the sky, calling Anna. She looks up at the sky, waves to him and shouts to Mr. Dragon that she is here. He immediately sinks down in front of her. The system evaluates Anna's condition. Her condition is still ailing. She has 62 days to live. But the elven power appeared. The duration is 3 months. Anna also studied the water ball spell and the light spell on her own. Her abilities: supreme harmony with the elements of water, supreme harmony with the elements of light, incomparable beauty, beautiful figure, fragrance. Su Nian Water opens his mouth in shock, thinking about what this elven power means. He does not understand what kind of incomprehensible crap it is. The elven power not only cancelled out all the negative effects, but also added so many abilities. Su Nian Water, he asks Anna how she is and what happened to her. Anna replies that everything is fine. She met her sister. Su Nian Water looks around, thinking about Anna's sister and realizing that his sister-in-law has come. Aloud, he asks about where her sister is. Anna rushes to him, telling Mr. Dragon that he is so worried about her. She hugs the dragon by the muzzle, embarrassed. Su Nian Water is also confused. He replies with a smile that of course he is worried. Anna pulls away from him and looking at his muzzle, tells Mr. Dragon that let all liars eat 1,000 needles. There are needles, this is Taiwanese slang. They say this to a liar as punishment. The system sends a notification to Su Nian Water that Anna Hathaway's sympathy has increased by 500 points. Her current level is 300 points. The system congratulates the host that he has reached the 3rd level of sympathy. He gets a top level takeover. The level of special skills can be immediately upgraded. The system congratulates the owner, who receives 5,000 system points. The absorption of the highest level means that the absorbed game can increase growth without increasing age. Also, different materials can lead to different effects. For example, by absorbing iron ore, Su Nian Water will increase the iron content in the scales. Su Nian Water's eyes light up happily. He is delighted that he has received the highest absorption and 5,000 system points. The system also informs him that the loan has been paid. The debt is 3155 points. Su Nian Water, disappointed, asks the system to wait. Smiling, he offers the system to negotiate and asks it to reset his credit. The system responds to the owner that this is a violation of the rules. Su Nian Water angrily thinks about what the system tells him about the rules. Isn't his whole existence a violation of the rules? If other players find out that he has system files, then what will happen? The system responds to the owner so that he please does not do stupid things. Su Nian Water continues, telling the system that if she is not mistaken, then she is cheating. The system doesn't know how to respond to this. The system informs Su Nian Water that his current score is -8155. Anna's liking level is 300 points. Selena's liking level for him is 100. Evelyn's liking level is 0. Su Nian Water laughs and tells the system that they have all been reading. He continues, saying that why don't they hang themselves yet? Su Nian Water asks the system that it will really be fun. She tells him that whatever it is, it's not an exam with an open book. An exam with an open book is an exam in which, when preparing an answer, it is allowed to use reference literature. But the system continues, saying that looking at the hardships of Su Nian Water, it can change its debt to a phased modification plan. Su Nian Water asks what a step-by-step modification plan is, since he has not encountered such a thing and has no idea what it is. The system responds to him that it is a system based on the orientation of the modifications of the host. It divides the modification plan into time segments. In each segment a payment is made for the costs of part of the modifications. Su Nian Water finds this option not bad. He understands that this is an installment payment. At least compared to the exploiter Zhu, he has more debt. Exploiter Zhu is a negative character in a Cultural Revolution era short story. Su Nian Water squints his eye and asks the system if there are any percentages there. The system responds to him that of course not. He can already use the plan, since he has paid part of the debt. Su Nian Water responds to the OK system. He thinks to himself that his opponent is too young to compete with him. Anna bends down to one of the chests and calls Su Nian Water to look into the chest. There are amazing treasures there. Su Nian Water opens one of the chests with his paw. There are skeletal remains lying there, from which a cadaverous smell emanates. He's thinking about what the hell it is. Su Nian Water shouts at Anna not to open the trunks. Anna is standing in front of two open chests. In one of them there is a purple spell book of water magic. Another chest holds a purple light magic spell book. Anna turns to Su Nian Water, telling Mr. Dragon that he said something. She didn't hear it. Su Nian Water is amazed by her findings, and tells her that it's okay, she should continue. Su Nian Water thinks about what a freebie it is. He thinks about why it seems to him that Anna has the luck of the main character. He asks the system if it is sure that Anna is not the main character. The system asks the host to be calm. Anna opens another chest and calls Mr. Dragon to come to her as soon as possible. She asks about what it is. Su Nian Water looks at the fact that Anna has found a level 3 fire core. He gets very upset thinking that the system is asking him to be calm. Tears flow from his eyes when he thinks that he put his life to get cores, and Anna just opens the chest here. Su Nian Water thinks that it looks like he is a loser. The system responds to him that the owner has always been one. Su Nian Water asks what. His eyes light up with an unkind red fire. The system responds that it is nothing. She just said that there was a system in his body. He just needs to follow the rules, and he will definitely become a great hero. No, not even the great dragon. Su Nian thinks about the rules. He understands that there are a lot of oddities here. If he had been in an internet cafe at the beginning, then the water would have got on the wiring of the girl sitting next to him, and then that girl would have died. Su Nian thinks further that then it would be possible to pierce the pelvis of the dying Anna. But next to her there is the same dying dragon. Then it will be easier to get his heart. You just need to remove all the buffs. The system clears its throat and asks the host not to try to guess. She asks him to believe in himself. He is in the heart of the world, at the end of the universe. Su Nian remembers the inventory in the store. He asks the system what she wants to say, that the fact that all the things in the store are women's is so that he believes in himself. The system tells him that it seems the owner is talking business. She continues, saying that the cancellation of the loan is possible. The current score of Su Nian is 0. He wipes his sweat and thinks about what a surprise this is. Hannah comes down to him from heaven. She lands in front of him and falls to her knees. Hannah tells Su Nian that she thanks the host. All her tribesmen are saved. She took a ram to his lair. Su Nian replies to her that he knows. He tells Hannah to go ahead, saying that he and Anna will leave soon. Hannah answers him, "Well, master." Hannah smiles at these words. In the village, a man is heard shouting to be listened to. This is shouted by a guy who continues with the words that there is a real dragon in the silver forest. Other players laugh at these words. One of them answers him, calling him a coward and asking about where the dragon is there. He didn't even see a rabbit there. The other guy laughs, saying that he was probably scared of the trees. One of the girls continues saying that he also destroyed her house to build his stupid tower. The guy shouts in anger that how to explain the fact that Gary and Chelsea did not return. The player mocking him replies that this is how they saw the treasure, so they did not return. Or those two stooges, like him, died of fright. Here their skirmish is stopped by another player who tells them to stop. They really need to do a search. 1,000 people will follow him into the forest to check this information. The guy clenches his fists in anger in response, thinking that since they are all laughing at him and do not believe him, they will all die there.